computer. So ladies, I've pushed the record button, so if anyone objects, then please let me know, otherwise we continue. And I welcome you for this special session of Female Wave of Change. It's April 15, 5 p.m. CET, and we're gonna talk about reconnecting with yourself, well, where to start. And in the meantime, I have to admit someone, because that's the current rule. So I'm admitting Laurie. Laurie, welcome. We're just starting, so welcome in the call. I will continue. Hi. So we just went through the welcome for this special session. You know, we're in the midst of this strange situation with the pandemic, and in Female Wave of Change, we just are doing what we know how to do. We collect our people, we collaborate, and we try and bring up things to act. And that's also what we have been doing the last few weeks. So we've done quite some webinars, a dialogue session. We've done things on health and well-being, on really, you know, what to know about Corona. And we're also slightly looking to the future, you know, what is the opportunity that also this pandemic brings us to do what we want in Female Wave of Change. We want to bring change and do it in a feminine way and take our leadership. So, as you know, my name is Renee van der Burg. I'm board member of Female Wave of Change, and I'm very happy and grateful to introduce to you for this session Regina Huber. She is in Female Wave of Change, member of our Circle of Wise Women, and very active because she's also one of our teachers of our online leadership program, Women Leading in Change. And today we are bringing one of the teasers of our program, Women Leading in Change, with Regina. And her session is called Reconnect with Yourself, Where to Start. So without further ado, I give the floor to Regina. And thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Renee, for the warm introduction. And I totally agree. We have to look into the future and carpe the moment, right? So everybody, welcome. Everybody who is on the call or who is watching the recording. I'm extending a very warm welcome to you all. And I am super thrilled to be here with you today. And I hope this can be an inspiring moment for you. So as Renee said, I'm Regina Huber. I'm a member of the Circle of Wise Women of Female Wave of Change. And like many of you, I'm a business owner. I'm the founder of Transform Your Performance with the same website. As a multicultural transformational leadership coach and as a consultant for inclusive diversity, it is my mission to drive female advancement and diverse leadership. And that's why I'm so delighted to be here with you today. So together, we can practice some self-awareness, which is really the basis for leadership. Because as you know, leadership starts with self. Leading starts with self. And self-awareness is about so many things. It's about our beliefs. It's about our biases. It's also about our power, our strengths, our shortcomings. It's about being aware that we may be perceived differently than we think we are perceived, that our behaviors and our words might be interpreted differently by others than by ourselves, of course. And it's also about our very own and unique creativity. And that's what I want to talk a lot about today. The scope of self-awareness itself goes way beyond this session, but we're going to get you started here today with some introspection and with a way to tap into your inner power, because that's what we need so urgently right now, to be able to access our inner power, our power energy, as I call it, and our creativity. So how do we get to self-awareness? Well, I mentioned introspection before. So it's through introspection, through self-observation, self-reflection. And I know that a lot of you are doing a lot of that right now in this situation. Self-awareness is also really about acknowledging, not knowing only about our power, but acknowledging our power, this intrinsic power, so we can connect with it. And so often we look for power outside of ourselves when it's really inside. So let me share a little bit more about my background so you understand where I'm coming from with this and why I'm even qualified to talk about this. So I grew up on a farm in a small village in Germany, and as a little girl, I was extremely shy and my world was really tiny. But I always had this adventurous spirit and this curiosity inside of me. And curiosity has really also become one of my main leadership traits now. And that's what propelled me out into the world. And so I've lived and worked on 5 continents. Also, Adriana is on the call, and I've also been doing some work in Qatar. So I've moved for the first time at the age of 19, and that was to a big city, yes, from the village to study. But at the age of 26, I moved abroad for the first time. That was to Madrid, Spain. And I just learned Spanish, so it was a completely new experience, a little bit of a culture shock for me as well. And that was with the Boston Consulting Group. And later, I also opened offices for Boston Consulting Group in Portugal and Brazil. And I'm not going to go into all the details of where I moved to and all these details because it's a long story. But from then on, what I want to share is that's been a very adventurous and very eclectic journey to different places in the world: Brazil, Argentina, California, and now New York, right? So, and I had to deal with a lot of corruption attempts. I learned so much through the seemingly adverse situations that I encountered along the way. And I want to really share more about that also in the full session for Reshape the Future, because it's taught me just so much. And believe me, I have a few really exciting stories to tell. So I took a lot of risks, and while not all of them were calculated risks, and not all of them were successful, these risks made me who I am today. So yes, sometimes you gotta take a risk to make a difference or to speak up or whatever your specific endeavor is and your purpose is. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about purpose later on as well. So anyway, I moved to New York about 8 years ago. And while right now I'm in Mexico because of the current situation and because I was just in the process of moving and that would have been difficult, I'm still based in New York. And that's where I started my current coaching, training, and speaking practice with the name, as I said earlier, Transform Your Performance. So as I said, I'm a multicultural transformation leadership coach, also very involved in diversity and inclusion. I'm a global inspirational speaker, and I wrote a book, Speak Up, Stand Up, and Shine. Feel free to check it out. It's really about some tools that help me regain confidence in a way that I could really speak up in front of audiences at a moment when I didn't have high self-esteem because of a previous experience. So, and I also wrote a diversity inclusion white paper 2 years ago. So my big passions, apart from dance, are inclusive diversity. They are female advancement, of course, and co-creation. That's why I joined Female Web Change as a member of the Circle of Wise Women, to co-create positive change through that feminine wave and the feminine values and the feminine way. And like many of you, I've reinvented myself many times in my life so far. I moved to all these places by myself. Like I moved to another continent once with just a dream in my hands, right? And sometimes I had to start over with very little resources. And last time that was because of a fraudulent business partner, which cost me my business, a business in which I had invested 2 entire years of my life and all my savings, everything all the money I'd ever made before through all my hard work, right? So I lost a bunch of money in that process. But not only that, I also lost my self-esteem. And I had to rebuild it from zero, literally from zero, if not below zero. And what that required is to step out of victim mode into a self-empowering mindset. And I think that's also something that can help us right now. You know, is this situation something that's happening to us or for us? What can we do with this? Yes, so why am I telling you all of this? Because I really want to convey to you that life isn't always moving in an upward trend. Why? because we're supposed to learn our lessons along the way and grow through them. And any situation in life that we encounter bears an opportunity to learn and grow. And there's even an opportunity in our current, what we call crisis, like, and some say, never waste a good crisis. And I have to agree with that. It's really, I think it's an opportunity, you might agree or not, for a planetary reboot even. But it's also an opportunity for us on a personal level to reevaluate who we are, what we want to do with our lives here on this planet. And maybe for some of us, that means that we have to completely hit the reset button. Or for some others, it might just be a little pivot, or we might want to go deeper with what we already are doing, with what we already know we're on the right track with, right? So we all have a choice. That's the gist of it. We can see our challenges as problems or as opportunities. We can focus on a problem or a solution. Difficult situations in that sense, and even crises like the one we're just going through right now, are sometimes pivotal moments in our lives. And maybe even for humanity right now, right? So we all must rise to the occasion. So before we go into the more, and I certainly want to hear from you, but before we go into the more interactive piece of this session, I want to share two critical things that life has taught me, because I think they are really relevant for everybody. First, you can start over, always, again, yes. So whatever happens, you can hit the reset button and kick off a new project. Even if you feel really bad one day, you can hit the reset button in the morning, the next day, and say, this is my new day, this is my new life. And in fact, many of us have had to do that right now as our businesses have taken maybe a hit, or through this COVID-19 situation with all the, for example, in my case, all the in-person engagements for the entire spring and into the summer have been canceled. And I know I'm not the only one. Yeah, so it's not a matter of waiting it out now and resume what we were doing earlier. Maybe some of it will come back. I really hope so, because I love the in-person engagements, yes? But the question is, what's the opportunity in this situation right now? So starting over is always an option. And sometimes it's just a little pivot, and that's enough. And second is, I learned resilience. Being an entrepreneur and a leader in any capacity, right? If you're a leader in corporate, being an employee as well, and right now even more so, requires resilience. So it's easier to build resilience and not get discouraged when we remember the fact that all circumstances are opportunities. They happen for us, not against us. And that includes adversity. So it's often a blessing in disguise. And when we're in the situation, that's not always obvious. But once we've moved through it and we look back, it becomes more obvious. For example, that occurrence in the past with that fraudulent business partner is the reason why I'm here today, why I'm doing this work, really, right? And I've grown a lot through it, even if it was extremely painful at the time. And with what I know now, I probably could have avoided it. At the time, I didn't know better. So I have to forgive myself as well. Okay, so it's always about making the best of any given moments, and it's the best, not perfect. That's also another really important thing, because we women are such perfectionists, and that often stops us, but that it doesn't really serve us, yes? We must always remember that perfection doesn't really exist. We are already perfect as we are in the spiritual sense, but perfection as such is something we can never achieve. So why would we run behind that carrot all the time that we never can reach, right? Instead of really taking action. And it should be inspired action, so it can be effective action. More about that in a bit. So I'd like you to think about one difficult situation in your life, not the current one, a situation in the past that was adverse or challenging, where the circumstances really seemed like they were really hard to overcome or almost impossible to overcome. But afterwards, you learned that this was really an opportunity that was provided to you, almost a gift for growth. for learning, for your personal development, for evolution, or for you to make a bigger impact. So oftentimes something hugely difficult can result in a huge learning. So I would love to hear from you in the chat box, or even because we're not so many, maybe just, Renee, if you can assist me in unmuting people, or they can unmute themselves. And I would love to hear one or two of those experiences really briefly.
Yeah, I think everyone can unmute oneself. They know how to do it. So please join in.
Selena.
Oh, okay. Hi.
You're unmuted. Okay, I thought you wanted to share something.
That's okay. I will share. It's amazing because my book, 5 Keys to Emotional Oneness, the Emotional Detox System, is all about it's about going from pain to purpose. And so all you're saying are confirmations of what I've written and my life in general, and the path that I came through, and the gifts that I received going through that path. And what brought me into my greatness was those lessons. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, we all have our wonderful stories, and they must go into books sometimes. Yes, thank you. Anybody else for right now? We have more opportunities to share. So yes, we move on for now. Okay, so if you are listening to the recording, make a note of this. Yes, grab a notepad, a pen, and really play along. There are a lot of opportunities to share. So yeah, so the next thing is really, what did it teach you? Think about that. Yes, what did you have to let go of at the time? Was it something material? Was it a belief maybe? Was it an opportunity to become conscious of a subconscious belief that you had that was stopping you in some way? Was it a relationship you had to let go of? Maybe a behavioral pattern, an attachment to something. And what I mean with attachment is not only material things, but I did, for me in my experience, was a big, attachment thing that I had to learn, right? So I really had to learn to detach from a lot of belongings, for example, eventually. And that was a very important process to go through for me, yes? So on the other hand, what new skills did you have to acquire? Or how did it help your process of self-awareness? How did that situation propel you towards who you are now, or the next chapter in your life? How did it make you who you are today? How did it bring you closer to your purpose, your calling, your maybe some intentions that you had and that were not clear at the time? Yes. So this is a really good exercise for all of us, because it also helps us. When we realize this, it helps us practice forgiveness with ourselves. As we all know, probably in this call, self-forgiveness is the hardest forgiveness, mostly for women, yes, especially for women. And I found it much easier to forgive that business partner in the past than to forgive myself in the end for letting that happen. Yes, there's a lot of shame oftentimes, and we really need to move out of those low vibration energies and low vibration emotions. Eventually they have a function, but only in the moment, and then when they stay on too long, they can do a lot of harm. So we must find a way to move through this. Yes. So do you even know what your purpose is right now? From the women on this call, I'm pretty sure you do, but maybe maybe also, sorry, I'm gonna get a sip of water because of the air conditioning, the air is a little dry.
In the meantime, Regina, I can share that there's one new person in the call, Sandy.
Yes.
I cannot see her, but she's in. So welcome.
Okay, great, Sandy. Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Hi. So we are all contributing from time to time, Sandy, and I'll prompt you to contribute in the chat box or or with your verbally. And otherwise we are muted. So, okay, welcome. Okay, so we were just about to go a little bit deeper into purpose. So I was saying I know the women on the call to a smaller or larger extent, each of you, but I know that you have a pretty clear purpose at this point in life. Although it might still also change, you never know, right? I'm always open to that because we grow and we never stop growing. My purpose has changed over a lifetime, and usually it's a buildup of different things and lessons and growth. So the next chapter is always something that builds on all my previous experiences and previous purposes. So yes, I'm open to that myself. So how do you know what your purpose is? Really think about that. I'm going to give you a few questions to get to that later. But first, I want to ask you, what does purpose even mean to you? What's your definition of purpose? And again, you know, if you want to share in the chat box, we have time for one quick share. Yes, Lori, let us hear from you. What's your definition of purpose?
It is the direction and meaning of my life, that bigger picture of what I'm here to do.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
And I really resonate with the forgiveness and yeah, it's just everything you're saying is touching, because I'm a forgiveness coach. So.
Oh, awesome. Yes, that is such an important function, right?
In a past. So I think purpose is always being defined, very defined, you know, like as you keep following it. Yeah.
Awesome. So. And you just said something about progress, right? So did I hear that right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, as we progress through, we keep following.
Yeah.
Getting, you know, it keeps growing bigger and bigger for myself anyhow. Evolving and expanding. So I don't, you know, you know so much of your purpose, but then things like this happen and now it starts to open up even more.
Right. And my definition of success is actually also progress, you know, fulfilling progress, really, right? Okay, thank you so much for sharing this, Lori. So I think we're going to go back to the content and then hopefully we hear also from the other ladies on the call. So for me, the definition of purpose is threefold. We are here to learn and grow. That's part of my purpose, right? I'm here to learn and grow personally, individually. I'm here to make an impact through my growth, but also through my talents and gifts I've been given. And I'm here to contribute to overall human evolution through my growth and impact. So that's how I defined purpose for myself. And you know, it could look a little bit different for everybody, of course. So you could also say the purpose is the highest expression of yourself. Yes, that's what we're working towards. Of all the talents and gifts that you've been given, your background, and of course your experiences and your stories and your learnings so far in life, and that's why it often changes. Yes. So I also call this everything we have that makes us unique. I call this our distinctive uniqueness in my work, and it's also part of my powerful leadership transformation process, my signature process. And I often talk about unique assets, because once you really dig deep with your unique qualities, your unique talents, strengths, and all of that, and skills, everything you've gained in your life, your wisdom, they become unique assets because some of them actually are worth gold. Yes. And your distinctive uniqueness is also an integral element, therefore, of my powerful leadership transformation process. So let's just think about this for a moment. There are currently 7.7 billion people on this planet, and not one of them has your DNA. Even if you have a twin sister or brother, it's now proven that they do not have exactly the same DNA, yes? So no one shares the same combination of talents, gifts, skills, stories, experiences, backgrounds as you have. No one shares that with you. And if you want to be a leader, you have to dig extra deep with your distinctive uniqueness, because leaders don't blend in. Leaders stand out, and they dare to stand out. So what are some of those unique assets that make up your authentic brilliance? Those unique assets that you have in your treasure box. Yeah. Unique gifts, personality traits, skills, talents, stories, achievements so far in your life, passions. Even also my passion for dance, it flows so much into my work. I wrote a blog about this one time because it taught me so many lessons, team lessons, leadership lessons, personal lessons, presence lessons, business presence lessons. Yes, it taught me about energy, it taught me about the use of energy. It gave me a different posture. So rich. And I'm sure you have a passion that is equally rich. So think about that. Yeah, and you might not even have used that much in your profession or in your business. It might become a trait that can distinguish you from other entrepreneurs that might be doing something similar as you do. You know, I always say, when you distinguish yourself enough, differentiate yourself, there's no need to compete because you have no competition. Yeah, it goes away. Yes. So again, you know, if anybody would like to share something about one thing that makes you unique, we could even go around the room real quick. So that one thing that makes you stand out, I would love to hear. One thing that makes you unique, that makes you special, that makes you stand out. And I know you have so many more, and you're going to have an assignment about that. Okay, one thing. We're going to go around the room real quick. Adriana, would you want to say something? I haven't heard from you.
Sure. I was thinking about that, and it reminded me of my positivity. So everything that I do, I tend to look to the positive side and stick to that and try to find a solution not only for myself, but also I try to inspire others with my my own examples, my life experience, and I tend to bring the best of people out of them. So I think this is something that is really emerging and becoming more evident nowadays.
Okay, awesome. Yes, and I love that. And I love that about your session also that they did for the Female Web of Change. So thank you so much.
Oh, yes.
And one day we'll still go do that samba online together. One day with samba dance. Okay, thank you, Adriana. Who else?
I would say I have a warm heart.
Yes. And I had the pleasure to work with you so much for the Female Web of Change conference. So I can definitely confirm that. Thank you, Renee. Yes.
I would also say the same. I really work from the heart, and I'm a good listener. I probably do better listening than I do speaking, and I have a great intuition. So I'm able to give people back what they came to receive, and people tend to trust me.
Yeah, that's also something that I have heard about myself. So I'm really appreciating these sharings because it reminds me of something that people sometimes say too. And Selena, you might actually like my latest blog, which is all about heartset. So you could check it out on my website. It's called Heartset or Mindset. Mindset is important. I teach a lot about mindset, but heartset is also very critical. So thank you for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Lori?
Yeah, it's interesting. Everything everyone's saying is, I see that in myself, or I've been told that as well. But I think the biggest thing is people feel really comfortable sharing with me, and oftentimes people will say, they'll tell me something really personal, and then they say, I've never told that to anyone before, and I don't even know why I just did, but I felt safe with you, and so there's a safety and a trust. I
love that. A lot of psychological safety you can create, right? We can do that because of who we are, and also intentionally through some tools. So yes, I think we have a lot in common here. As I said before, we hear probably the same things from different people, right? So that other people are sharing right now. So that's awesome. And we still have different things. So the package of everything makes us unique. The package of everything we have. So we share a lot of things, especially in this group, because there are also a lot of coaches. But we also then have other things that distinguish ourselves. And the whole package is the distinguisher. Okay, Sandy, would you like to share quickly? I think she might be.
Hi.
Hi, yes. Sandy,
You
what
listen
makes
me?
you unique? Yes. ¿Qué te hace especial? What makes you unique?
But in Spanish or in English?
You can do it anyway. I can translate if you want.
Okay, I try to speak in English, but my English is normal. Okay.
It's very good.
I think my empathy with the people make me be special, because like that I can work with the necessities with the people, like my foundation with the children's, and I think that is my most big good thing on me. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Sandy. So Sandy has a wonderful foundation for children where she teaches them classes that they would not otherwise get, like yoga and fun cooking classes and things like
Music.
that. And also, yes, and also at the same time, it's very educational to make a difference in many ways. Okay, thank you, Sandy. So we're gonna mute you again. Okay. Sandy, can you mute yourself again? Thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna move on here because we have a little more to cover, but it's not, we're gonna, I know we have only about 10 more minutes, and I wanna give you a cool tool today if you'd like. So all of this, of course, that you just shared flows somehow into your purpose, yeah? So if you look at when you look at your gifts and talents and are unclear on your purpose, if you're listening to this and you're still not clear on your purpose, there's often a hint in your talents, in your passions that can lead you to your purpose. Yes, they're often related. So what are you really good at? What comes easy to you? What do you enjoy doing? What makes your heart really feel fulfilled? Yes, what makes your heart sing? These are indicators towards your purpose. And what good would you like to see in the world? What's something you'd like to see changed as a result of your own life, your work? What's the mark you want to leave on this planet? And how could the world be a better place because of you passing through it? Yes, because you came to this planet. What are you passionate about? What lifts you up? What makes you feel joyful? What makes you feel satisfied or fulfilled? That's actually my favorite word, fulfilled. So I'm also really curious, I'm sure for a lot of people, your purpose has shifted because of the global situation we're going through right now. And, think about that. Has it shifted for you? Maybe not. As we said before, maybe it's just a little pivot or about going deeper or something. But as you find yourself in this situation where you might be refiguring out a few things, how can you go even deeper with your distinctive uniqueness? What is some of that untapped potential that you're now being called to put into some action, yes, into a way to bring positive change to the world, to not just keep it inside, but bring it to the surface? I'd really like you all to reflect on this and maybe meditate on it and ask your intuition. We've heard intuition today. Ask your intuition, ask that wise inner voice that we all have for guidance. And that sometimes requires a little bit of time, but that inner voice already knows it. So trust that it can speak to you, that you can hear it, so that then you can take inspired action, not just any action. We often do so much, we do, and we're told that hard work is the way to achieve what we want in life, yeah? When oftentimes we do so much and it leads nowhere, because what we do is not inspired action. So our actions aren't always effective. Yeah, it's really important to take a moment and reflect sometimes. We are human beings, we are not human doings. You've heard that before, right? So sometimes we just need to give ourselves permission to be, so then we can do in an effective way. And in a way that's also fulfilling. So you may already have changed your plans and refocused on something right now that's become more important or more critical to tackle, whether it's as an entrepreneur, an employee, in your job, in your NGO, or maybe even in a political role, or maybe you're taking up a political role because of this now. So again, we're running a little short, and I know we have to wrap up soon. I want to share this tool with you if you want it. I'm going to ask you a little bit. So but really take a note to write that down. And in the full session of Reshape the Future, that program, we'd also go deeper with all of this whole concept of of distinctive uniqueness of your diverse aspects, and how you can put it all to work for yourself, to distinguish yourself in your field, to distinguish yourself as a leader. And we'll also look at what a powerful vision should look like, so you can actually live your dream, implement your vision. What can that look like, and how can it be effective? And we look more closely at the concept of power and what that really means. But for today, let's just briefly touch on how to connect with your power, so you can actually walk away from this session strengthened and ready to take some first steps, which will then build on in the Reshape the Future program if you're ready to sign up for that, or if that's the right fit for you. So there I'll also share more ways of how to mentally, physically, and energetically connect with your power. But for today, I'm really excited to share about a way to physically and energetically connect right now. Not so much mentally, but energetically. So why this is so important is because, as I said before, we already have this intrinsic power inside of us, but we're not always connected with it. So we don't necessarily feel powerful, and sometimes even feel powerless in the face of a certain situation like a crisis. But when we are not connected with that power, what happens is that it's as if we wanted to watch TV without plugging in the power cord. The power energy cannot flow, yes? So we really must plug in our inner power cord first in order to be able to access that inner power and to use it for our purpose, to use it for to make a difference. So are you ready for that? Do you want to learn that? It's a fun exercise, yes? And it's also in an adapted version. It's also in my book, but this is a little bit different. So I'm going to ask you to stand or sit. You're probably all sitting in a relaxed position, and really relax your shoulders and relax your body, and just sit upright. Take a couple of deep breaths. Let all the tension go. And feel your feet grounded on the floor. So both feet on the floor. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the earth energy all the way up through the soles of our feet, because the earth is still sustaining us. We have to remember this. A walk in nature can teach us that every single day again, right? That you can take a walk and then bring that energy, that earth energy, up through the soles of your feet. Maybe close your eyes for that, right? Bring it up all the way through your legs and through your entire body. And as you do this, focus on some parts of your body. We're bringing it up through the legs into the base of our spine. And that's where it's usually most easy to feel supported. So really feel into this support center and feel supported right now. Feel that support that the planet Earth, Mother Earth is giving us. Yes, it's still giving us everything she has. Yes, that support that we all have a right to. And then we're bringing that energy up into our belly. That's usually where it's easiest to access our feminine power and our creative power, where we can really feel at home when we need to. So feel into that feminine power for a moment, that creative power. And then bring it up into your solar plexus area. That's your stomach area, right? So that's one of the areas that when I do the short version of this, I always use. So every time I go in front of an audience, I feel into this area, the solar plexus. That's where your personal power is most expressed. So focus on your personal power here, because as you know, what you focus on expands. You really breathe into it. And allow that personal power of yours to expand and allow your diaphragm to support you right now. Now we're bringing that energy up into our heart area. We want to be heart focused and heart centered and really make a conscious decision to open up your heart right now so you can give to other people what they need, but also receive what you need. Yeah, open up that power, that heart power. And then we bring it up into the throat because it's also really important to speak our truths and feel our power in the throat. Or maybe it's singing your truth, you know. You have singers here. And then bring it all the way up to your forehead. Allow to be inspired by your intuition. So your intuition comes from different parts of your body, by the way. From your forehead, third eye, we call it sometimes. From your heart and from your gut. That's why we talk about a gut feeling as well. So this is a way to access your inner wisdom and the wisdom of your guides, if you have trusted guides, you know, invisible guides, we sometimes call them. So then we bring this energy up to the top of the head and out through the top of our heads. And this is also where we can connect to our unlimited power, yes? And as you're doing that, maybe you want to make a hand movement as if you're creating a big bubble around you, if that helps. If not, just imagine creating a big bubble of energy that's filled with your personal power energy and with your heart energy and with this earth energy all together. So really now, as we are tapping into this big bubble of energy around you, that actually also helps us enhance our presence when we go speak in front of audiences, whether it's online or offline. Now it's more online. So this will help you also to increase your perceived presence. Really important. But right now, what we're also going to do is we're going to focus back to the area behind our hearts. And now we're going to declare out loud, you're muted, but declare out loud to yourself, I'm taking all my power back. Any power that I have ever given away is now coming back to me. Any power that I've left somewhere on my path of life, I'm now taking that back, declaring it, and filling my entire energetic body with that power. And it's moving into all cells of my body, every single cells of my system, all the way down to the toes, and back up through my legs and through my body, all the way up to the top of my head. And now I'm bringing this power energy also outside, this additional power that I'm gaining back right now, that energy that I've just brought back into my system and into my bubble. And I surround myself with this power energy to enhance my feeling of power, my feeling of confidence, of self-esteem, but also my presence and how others perceive me, and my visibility and my charisma. I really light that spark now, and I radiate my inner light out to the world, so I can shine my brightest light and my brilliance out to the world, just like a bright, shining star. And take a breath and really enjoy that moment and observe what it feels like. And let's add a moment of gratefulness, of gratitude for this power. And open your eyes. Yes. And what did that feel like? I'm curious. Now I'm curious. So we need another minute, Renee. I know we started 5 minutes late too, because I'm really curious of what that felt like, if it was helpful, and if it was, how.
It gave me a sense of where I want to go next in terms of bringing myself more into my purpose.
Yes.
The piece of me that I leave behind. And it's probably from past experiences, but it sometimes blocks me from people seeing the real Selena.
Awesome.
So,
yeah.
Thank you for
and
that.
we can repeat this experience. You know, if you want to go deeper in your private space, sometimes we need a little longer and do it more slowly, or do it again with the recording. Yes, thank you, Selena. I love that. Yes, anybody else?
I'm feeling super recharged
Cool.
because we've been doing a lot. It looks like we are losing our energy and everything is draining us. But it was really, really powerful because I could reconnect with my values. And as Selena said, it reinforced where I want to go and where I should start. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And there's so many ways to reconnect with our power. You know, you can do it mentally if that speaks more to you. This is just really a taste of what it could be energetically. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else? I think we have no more shares. So yeah, was it helpful at all to the rest of you?
It was great. I mean, I felt very warm and tingly. So definitely energy was going somewhere.
Yeah, I sometimes feeling a little lightheaded. Also because we forget to breathe when we constantly, you know, on this shallow breathing, and all of a sudden we start breathing a bit and we really think about the energy, because really what we focus on expands, right? So if we focus more on the negativity, it expands in our system. And as we all know, we have to really take good care of our immune systems right now and teach others to do the same. Yes. Okay. No more shares? Okay. So then we're going to move on. And yeah, so that's really cool. So thank you so much. So if you'd like more of that magic and many more types of magic, if you are planning to sign up for Reshape the Future or have already signed up, then I would like to inspire you to think about, you know, what else would you like to discover in yourself? You know, what else would you like to discover in yourself through the program? And if it's not through the program, maybe outside of it. But, you know, there will be a lot more very different and unique content by everybody. So here are your assignments for now. Just really quick, reflect on your purpose. So number one, reflect on your purpose, write it down if you don't have it yet, or write down what it could be. And over time, you'll come, you know, take steps closer towards it. And then this will also be really helpful to writing your vision if you don't have one yet, and when the time comes to write that. And if you find it challenging, you know, really always ask yourself, what do you see, I want to see changed in the world, and what are you passionate about? So, and what comes easy to you, yes? And the second assignment is make a list of 50 unique assets, unique gifts, talents, skills, personality traits, and all of that. Should not be hard. A lot of people say, oh, 50, but you know, I don't have that much. I'm sure you do, because sometimes I've had people write 100 and they have done it, okay? And if some people say sometimes, oh, I'm a really great listener, you know, Selena said that. Yeah, and other people might have the same, so it might not make you unique per se, but in the combination of all the other things, it will make you unique. It's a package, right? So it's important to include that too. And it's a very important trait. And then also, let's just assume you did sign up or will sign up for Reshape the Future. Then also the third assignment would be, what's your intention for the program? What's your personal intention for the program? And also feel free to share your intention with me by email or with Ingun, with Renee. I'll pass it on. Also, if you share it with me at Regina@transformyourperformance.com, like my website, so Regina@transformyourperformance.com. And that's it from me today. So yes.
Well, Regina, you surpassed all our expectations, I guess, because your content was, I mean, it was 45 minutes, but you gave us, I think, the content of all the lesson, the whole lesson. And what I liked is because this is quite an interesting situation, because as some of you know, we were supposed to start our training in April, but then Corona came and we said, yeah, it's now not the time to just do a full program, a paid program. So let's do just snippets of our program and offer it to everyone, and just open up and, you know, use our expertise of the Circle of Wise Women members, our teachers, and share that abundantly, because there's more than enough for everyone. And I think you did just that, Regina. You shared more than enough, abundantly. And I loved your language. It's so uplifting. It's so positive. And I think we all come away out of this session with an optimistic view, energized and inspired. So I thank you very much. And I still want to ask for one time, because I know that we have asked you if you're okay with the recording, but I also want to make sure that you're still okay with us posting this on our social media, on our YouTube channel. I just want to make really sure that you're okay with that before we go ahead and do that.
I certainly am.
Let me know if there's any objection. We can still take a day, and then if everything is okay, then we'll see it online, and many more people can benefit from your question and your suggestions, and practical food for thought. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And it was a lovely session, and I think we all come away more energized. Thank you, everyone.
So much deeper with everything. So I think that's the point. You know, we go a little bit of an overview, but everything is so much richer. We get very deep with everything. So a lot more content in addition in the program, but also much deeper with everything.
Great.
Yes. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye, ladies.
For being here.
Bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.